Okay, in this video and series, we're going to use InstantDB, and we are going to make a replica of this LiveBeats Elixir app. It's on the fly. This is the blog post. Chris McCord built this with Elixir, and yeah, so this was built in 2022 with Elixir, and if you don't know much about Elixir and Phoenix, I've used it a little bit. Phoenix is built on top of Elixir, which Elixir is built on top of Erlang, and Erlang runs on something called the Beam. This was made back, I don't know I'm not going to get the actual decade right. It was either sometimes 70s, 80s. I think that's the right time for the telecommunications system. And you have to handle a bunch of concurrent connections and conflicts, and making sure things don't, nothing runs into issues when they're connecting with each other. And so they built Erlang to handle all of the telecommunications system, and so Elixir took that and built on top of that, and so you can run like crazy amount of connections through WebSockets on Elixir. And so he built this app, which is I'm not going to play the video, but essentially what it is you sign in, you get a profile. On your profile you can upload music and listen to music, which there's nothing necessarily unique about that. Feels kind of like MySpace days, but then the cool part is when a user visits your profile, they can click play and listen in, and then the audio is synced in real time to the other user who is listening in, and then with navigation, the player persists, and so we're going to probably use right now, the thought is to use something like TANstack router with an outlet and on context when we're listening to music, top level context, which wraps the outlet, has the music player, and that will play or not play depending on that. And then the user is the profile owner is the one driving the music. So if you skip, it skips the song on anybody listening in. So let's try to build this. Alright, so we're going to grab this command. We're going to come back to our terminal, and let's make a directory and call it LiveBeats InstantDB cd, and then probably gonna have to name it again. I always do this every time I name a project. I name a directory, and then I create a project, and I have the name within a name. LiveBeats instant. Let's just kill this cd, and then paste this back, and then we'll do LiveBeats instant. This would sound better if it was instant LiveBeats. Let's use, these are not my favorite options. Vanilla TS. We are using Cursor. New app. I want to, we'll just call this one Instant LiveBeats. So before we get started, I'm just gonna instant LiveBeats Cursor. Okay, so it's all right. So here I'm going to come in here and make. Let's actually tell Cursor we are using Claude. What our plan is. Okay, so our plan is to remake a popular app made by Chris McCord that was using Elixir and Phoenix LiveView. The app has users. The users have profiles. The users can upload music. The users can play their music, and other logged in users can visit a user's profile and listen in to the song or the music that the profile owner is listening to. We are using InstantDB, and so I've already actually, you can add, if you do @docs, if you want to add a document, or like a reference to document, you can click add new doc, but I've already added instant before, so I'm going to reference the docs here. And I would like to use instant for profiles, or for auth profiles, file uploads, music uploads, and then use the presence feature of instant to sync the audio between users. Let's try to think what else we want. I know we should also have a sidebar that shows who all is online. So this would be, I guess, if there is an active session, or maybe we make another presence room for the top level app, and one for each user's profile when they are listening to music. And then we're going to need so I just had a thought about this, not that AI cares about spelling, but we are going to need if the profile owner changes pages, then the music player should persist across navigation. We could bring in something like tan-stack router and wrap the top level in context, and whenever the music is playing, then the audio player for that user who is driving the music would persist by wrapping the root level outlet. Yeah, we could also add the ability for users who are listening to have the audio player persist, but that'll be maybe a second level. So let's see if there's anything else. I think that's it. I think we'll be happy with how this plays out, because Chris McCord's example was using Phoenix and Elixir, which was doing this all over WebSockets. Now, granted, I think Instant is connected to the front end and is storing data in InstantDB. I think it's doing all that through WebSocket, because Instant is in the local first sphere, but it's not. There's all this there's this large spectrum. There we go, of what's within the local first sphere, and so. But I think we'll be surprised with how it syncs audio. And what I'm thinking makes sense is if we're just syncing to the room. So we shouldn't really have to handle much outside of that. But we might want to say the room for the user profile should be what syncs the audio. So whenever a visitor clicks listen in, then it should grab the audio timestamp and sync it to the audio player for the visitor. And I actually, so I'm trying to do all this with AI. I already have a component from V0 as well. So if I go here, let's go v0.app. Let's look back at, let's look at this audio player. I think I actually made this into a web component, the whole thing. This is just easier for me to drop in. That's not going to actually be easier, is it? Because this is React, it has no effect. Okay, let's go to this. This one is using. Let's see. Let's restore this one. Yeah, so this one doesn't have the web component version yet, which is fine. So, and it's using hard-coded music, so that works. So now we just want to grab the. Let's go ahead and just grab this CSS. And then we also want to grab we'll just grab the layout. It's fine, because we'll let that's not the layout, that's the page. This is not going to be what I wanted it to be. Instant is either, it seems, this is all InstantDB core. So it seems like their starter only has the option for whatever. This is a demo. It's next. So let's kill that. We will. And then we'll do this again. We'll use next just because why not? And then cursor. Let's link it to that project. So I'm just going to use, because I already have React components, it's fine. I could probably use my web components and all that and it would be fine, but I don't want to. I'm only trying to think through routing or that type of thing. I'm not trying to think through using anything that's relatively new. So that's done. So we'll cd instant cursor, and then let's get rid of the terminal. I'll open it here. And then let's go ahead and open our terminal. And okay, now we can just go ahead and this will be, oh, that is not what we wanted to happen. There we go. Okay, and then components. So we'll put the components it's created for us after we grab our styles. We will put those, the audio player bottom bar, new file audio player bottom bar.tsx. And then we'll have to set up. Ooh, we'll have to set up Shad CN audio player profile. Audio player profile. And then the audio player itself. Audio player. And then okay, now let's do, we're using npm was it npx shad cn add latest init. Doesn't matter, we'll just use defaults. Okay, so then we want to add, what do we have? Button, slider, the button slider card, and the, okay, they're all the same. Okay, so there we go. So once we add those, it'll add our UI folder here with the components. It updated our lib with the utils, and then all of these are now fine. So we save that. That one's saved. Save that, and then our page. Oh, let's just rename this to bottom bar. Save. Okay. And then that. I guess. See, what happens if I copy that? Will it let me add it to this public folder? No, that didn't seem like that would work. Where's my not Zoom? Okay, it's fine. Let's see. Download file. Download file. Download file. Are those working? Nope, they're not working. That's fine. I don't need them. That's all placeholders anyway. Okay, we can get rid of that. All right, so now if we just go ahead and do npm star or run dev. Sorry for the long intro. All right, we are on localhost 3000. And we have we're missing the images obviously, but we have the layout. So we play. There we go. Okay. So now we can send rats. That's what happens when you have a prompt and you wipe a project. You lose your prompt. Okay, so we'll just do that again real quick. I'll pause the video and come back after I've written the prompt. Okay, so I've just went ahead and added the prompt back, basically saying all the same things I said before in the earlier prompt. This time, the only difference is I talked about using a layout for the layouts within Next.js, because different from layouts in TanStack Router or TanStack Start. So yeah, so I've let it know. Last thing I got to let it know is we are using InstantDB. So reference those docs as you build this out. So basically, I just want to see how far AI can get this. It's got some styles already with these components, so I'm hoping it doesn't spend too much time on styling. I would rather it just focus on the logic I've added here. So again, all I've said that we need is login, sign up. Once that happens, we should have profiles created for each user, like a profiles route, basically. And then we should have a sidebar with the presence for who is online / logged in, active session. And then we should have a music player on the website or on the profile, and underneath that profile, if we want to see who all is listening in. So the main user obviously is listening, and then the any visitors who are listening in, their name or email, whatever, would be there. And then outside of that, we want to persist the music player across navigation for the owner, the one who is actually playing the music. But then if a user or if a visitor it navigates away, then their music should stop because they're disconnected from that room. They're no longer in Elixir or in Phoenix. They would then be moved out of that WebSocket. So yeah, let's see how this goes. So we're using Opus. I've had the most, I guess, what's the right word? I've had more I've liked Opus's the way that it's worked better than most others. Sonnet 4.5 is also pretty good. I tend to use Gemini for UI though. So if Opus just kind of butchers the feel of the UI, then we're going to skip this. I need to just remove that MCP server. It really likes to add an MCP, and it just kind of defaults to always looking at that, and I don't really hardly ever use WorkOS, so there's no need to use that. Yeah, so if we want to see the app again, let's go to LiveBeats, and I can walk through the social music app, which this is kind of a cool idea, and I really haven't, I don't know if it just didn't catch on. My mind has still been stuck trying to replicate this. I tried doing this with Supabase probably back in 2023, but I've always been kind of disappointed, I guess, with their real time. The Postgres changes and that type of real time, where there's a couple good tutorials on Egghead that show using Postgres changes to have a real time chat kind of thing. That works well, but the other features around presence and things outside of the pre-built components was just, there's just too much you have to write. That's one of the nice things about local first and the syncing technology, is that you get a lot of the things that you would have to tend to write a lot of code for very minimal effort. So that's really nice. Another option in doing things like that is, I'm sure I'll get some eye rolls, but there are some really nice, there's a really cool hypermedia library called Datastar, datastar.dev, and you can kind of see, if you don't know how this is working, it doesn't make, it might not resonate with you, but hypermedia is server-driven UI, and so Datastar uses signals. You've probably heard of HTMX, but you do, you take some small little action on the front end, and then using something known as transclusion, you indicate through HTML where, and really I don't know that Datastar, like, you have options you can customize, but you indicate where you want the return server HTML to be inserted. So it's like transcluding, inserting documents one into the other. And so this is server-driven UI and real-time things. So like, you can speed it up here. It's and it's signals based. So I don't exactly know how this is working, but you see, you get your mouse position over here. It tells you the speed that it's going here. And really, so on the back end, how this one tends to work is it uses Datastar uses server sent events, and it patches signals, or it also patches elements. So you can get pretty fine grain there, and I'll try to make some tutorials in the future on Datastar. But anyway, this can use. You can see, I think, how this would also be simple to do some real-time stuff. A lot of real-time stuff, my awareness of a lot of real-time stuff is just low. But for something like syncing music, you can see that it's server-driven. It would just shoot it to the front end and tell a visitor where the profile owner's music player is at, and it would sync their audio for profiles, like who's online. Then it would just simply update the list on that sidebar with another name. So it's just sending, but it's nice because it's small. It's sending back very little amounts of it's just sending HTML to kind of stitch the DOM and merge things in. So that's another good option. So let's check back where it's at right now. Yes, we skipped it. Yes, continue. It's probably going to try to search for some reason. It likes to try to search, and I gave it the docs, so I'm not the biggest fan of it searching, because it always asks for permission. So the reason I liked this app was it was just different, for one, but two, I've just always been fascinated with real time, and I think as AI lowers the bar to like what is done with applications, I'm not speaking to the value of how it's done, or how much of it's done, or what a mess it creates, but as people start to do more, what I'm interested in is what is possible. So this one has always just kind of lived in the back of my mind, and it was you can see here they're listening in, and now it's playing. It paused. And yeah, this one's always lived in the back of my mind as something that one day I want to do myself, and have a bunch of examples of how this is done in various places. So maybe I'll do that next with Datastar and a couple other things. But anyways, okay, it's searching the storage docs. All right, now it's making the context. Let's see, what did it do here? Okay, yeah, it's creating our schemas in Instant. Make sure rooms. Yep, app. See, this is where, like, ordinal ID. I mean, Odinal. I might be the one messing this up, but okay, cool. So created our presence, so we'll keep that. We will. This is our rules, So our permissions, there's not that many. It should probably add files here. Files are not currently in the rules, which I believe they need to be. They're here, but so maybe not. Maybe it's just in the schema. So login form, yeah, it usually does fine with these. It's creating a sidebar. Probably should have just installed shad cns and let it said or told it to use that. Now it's creating our song upload. You can see the as it's doing it, you can just see that, like, and some of this is we'll have to check here. Let's go check the docs on presence. Let's move my face. Where is presence? Presence right here. We need to use, okay, so it needs to be set up that way rather than DB room. It's DB room dot use presence, and then we pass it the rooms dot use presence. Okay, so it's fine to name that room. DB room app global, DB room chat, DB DB dot rooms dot use presence, and then we need, I don't think the keys thing is right. We need to do app room. Okay, well, it says that's fine, so we can save that. Now let's go to our, what is it not like here? Okay, it doesn't exist. We'll resolve all that later. Profile this because this is db.rooms profile room, and then this should be I don't know if db.rooms dot use topic. Don't know if that's quite the right thing to do, but what's it say? Expected 3 arguments. Room, playback state, and something. Okay, so we'll figure this out too as we go. It doesn't like the publishing. Okay, so let's look at our docs. Okay, publish presence. Oh, that comes off of the actual thing. So comes off of this publish presence. So we should just play that topic. Let's see if there's any examples of the use topic. There we go. Use publish topic. So is that what we get out of here? Is that what we want? db.rooms.use publish topic. Use publish. And then we want our profile room. And then, okay, so it's trying to publish on the topic. So I think that's what this is actually doing. It's not actually it's not actually okay, what if we just grab this whole page and say put you over here. Once it finishes, please use this as reference to update all of the presence and topic use cases throughout our components. Yeah, see, because it says it's fixed, but this is deprecated, so we're not gonna let it slide. Keep as it's continuing to work. Let's go ahead and see what we have. Okay, and here's our stereotypical purple AI UI. So we'll get a code, and I'll paste that in just a second. Here it is. Verify. Okay, we got it. All right, we're in. So my profile. Okay, cool. No songs. Upload song. I guess I need to figure out how to get an MP3 or two real quick. So I'll get that and I'll be right back. Okay, somehow that took way longer to download a piece of music to upload. So now let's see how this works. So select audio cover. We're gonna go with a Linkin Park song. Paper cut, artist name. We're not gonna worry about a cover. We'll just say Linkin Park and upload. So it says it's uploading. Let's check our keep all. We can check our database. This is the nice thing about Instant. Get your dev tools. Okay, so no file currently. We have our user profile files. So nothing yet. So that tells me that there's probably an error. If we inspect again, let's get me out of the way. Console failed to create profile. User is a unique attribution on profiles, and an entity already exists with profiles.user. Why is it trying to create that? Let's see, let's try again. If you're wondering about this big red error here, it's because of a Chrome extension, and it's not exactly clear to me which one. So let's just go ahead and take them off and see which one. Well, that's not going to do anything. It's probably might be ramp. Anyways, let's see, network clear up, upload song, paper cut, open. And then, man, I really wish this bottom part would go away. And then upload. So it says it's pending. Console, nothing there. Let's check our instant dev tools again. Still no files, users. Linked to our profile, we have this user. All right. It's just kind of lingering. Nothing. All right. Let me figure this out and I'll be right back. Okay, I think it's because, like I mentioned earlier briefly, we need to have permissions for files. So let's go ahead and say, please create us instant permissions to allow for creating files for anyone, and then for the other methods only. Creating and viewing, well, yeah, I'm trying to think about when it becomes a, yeah, just creating files for anyone. The other methods maybe outside of viewing need to only be accessible by the owner. Okay, so it's going to create us some rules to allow for file uploads, and yeah, because right now no file uploads are allowed, which is, that makes sense because we did not give it rules. The schema is saying that we want to use them, but it has nothing here. It says nothing around permissions for that. So let's see. Oh, that's not exactly what we want, but we'll roll with it for now. So we'll kill it for a second, and then our DB, doesn't matter if you see this, because this is a test app, so that, and then we'll go back here, so we'll say npx instant CLI push perms app, that, yes, yes. Okay, so now let's try this again. And we go back to wrong page. Go back here. Need to refresh. Upload. Paper cut. We need to make sure we have a, I think that's just making that the title, right? Lincoln Park. Okay, so paper cut, let's see. Can't play it yet, so because we just, let's go back to our permissions. View, okay, create doesn't equal to view. Why? Okay, so that's good. We have a song. Let's refresh to make sure it's still here. Okay, it's there. Select a song. There we go. Now let's see. This is probably just UI interactions. Let's see. Probably got some weird the element has no supported sources. Okay. Let's go back to our song. Oh, this is fine. What is the error URL? Our audio player. Oh, that doesn't matter. Profile player. No need to worry about listening in right now. We are only concerned with the main player. Print title, slider, format, button, is owner. Player. Okay, so it would be this one. Let's go up here. What is this? Oh my goodness, player context type. Let's go down. We need to find where it's initialized in the profile player. Use player. Context. And it is, I don't even know if we're using our, let's just tell it to use our audio player. I don't think we need to, I know why I added the context. It's because I told it to, obviously, but the, okay, let's grab that error from the console. That, well, it should be here too. Not you. Let's see. I think this might be referencing the URL too. So we're going to drop that there. And then if we look at our InstantDB, let's see. URL. If I turn it down real quick. Okay, so let's make sure. Sorry, I keep going the wrong way. Let's make sure that in the player context, that's what it's trying to use. So if we go back to the profile player, it says use player. So we should be setting the player that's the song ID timestamp. The player.source. Player.source. Nope. Okay, so now if we check context, let's go src audio current.source equals song.audio URL. Play song. I don't know how we're actually passing the so play song. Receives this song dot audio URL. Okay, so then in our audio player or profile player, we need to look for where we pass well, that would be down on play, right? That would be music, player.toggle play pause. Okay, so we need to go up from here. Player. How many times can you say player in a... Okay, current song. But if we don't have it set... Okay, player.play song. So handle select song. Let's go down one. Song. Okay. I think it's probably because it's not the right. Should this just be URL? Well, it's trying to tell me what type of instant songs. Okay, so if that is the songs, audio URL is not here. Well, that would make sense. Okay, so now where are we when we upload that? Where do we let's just ask, where do we set the song data after we have uploaded a file? Currently the audio URL on the song row is not being filled in correctly. Alright, again, move my face. Part of this I feel like is good, like going through this, like having to prompt this. I'm sure if there's some people who watch it who might be like, my guy, just learn how to code, or so, and that's fine. But this is not the aim of what I'm doing right now. I just want to see, one, how AI does, and then two, we might actually have to do a part two because it looks like I'm taking way too long on this video, but two, the okay, it's solved the issue, but two, I'm taking way too long, and it's not even done with the uploading part. So part of that was just setup and explaining, and I'm long-winded and whatever. So let's review this file and so let's see. Storage dot, let's space that out and say storage dot. So that's deprecated, which is interesting. What do they suggest other than uploading and deleting? I guess it could be on the audio upload result. Let's see, dot data dot ID. Still didn't actually do what I wanted it to, did it? Because it should be setting the songs audio URL. Okay, where did it set the audio URL? Storage.get download. Oh, okay, so it wants us to use db.query. It wants us to query the files directly. Okay, so we can do, let's try this. Audio URL equals await db.useQuery files where path equals this is going to be I guess audio path. Okay, let's just see what happens with that audio URL, and then we're going to keep all, and then we need to go back. I'm going to just wipe this, delete, and then files. Let's see, where's the audio path? It's just the path. Okay, so that's the same thing. Okay, so that's what will happen. All right, now let's delete. Right, delete selected row. Okay, all right, now let's try this again. All right, upload, paper cut, open, Lincoln Park, upload. Sorry, I should have had a space. Invalid hook. Hooks can only be called inside of the body of a function component. Okay. What did we change? What did we change? Inside the body of a function component. Let's save this just to make sure it wasn't the, I need to add the right back, copy. Let's refresh, upload. Just making sure that it wasn't the changes we make. Lincoln Park. It was our changes. Okay. Interesting. So, oh, because it was querying. You can't query. Okay. So if we save this, this is the hook it's talking about. db dot. Okay, so this is the problem. Actually, wait, is it a problem? What was the upload result? If console is my friend, it is not my friend. Let's just upload the same song again. Paper cut. We're gonna do it again. Okay, audio upload result data ID. Okay, well that's not very fun. Okay, so if it's the audio path, which is the audio, I'm trying to get the audio URL. let's ask AI on this. How would I use this query, because I can't use it where it's at due to the ordering of hooks, but I need the audio URL in the db.storage.get download URL is deprecated. How would I use this query after I upload the file to then create the songs transaction with the correct audio URL? It's probably going to be pretty straightforward, but this is the hook. Query once. Okay. Is that a thing? Let's see. Query. Yep. Okay. Okay. Let's just go ahead and tell this to stop because I want to try it. And save. And now let's do this again. Let's go ahead and close this. Side note, if you haven't seen why many people like Instant before, it would be nice if you could resize this pane, but wow, it's a lot of, it's because I tried multiple times. But if I delete all of these, I guess I need to delete the songs first. Delete files. That may have already deleted it. Yeah, I'd already deleted it, so I didn't have to refresh or anything, but let's delete all these now. Okay, delete. Okay, now let's refresh and do this one more time. This should work this time if the query once thing is correct. Paper cut, Lincoln Park, upload, invalid value for attribute audio URL, expected string but received object. That makes sense because we are only getting the actual file. Data files 0. So we need to get the URL. So let's do so it would be data, and then this would be data dot files dot it's only going to give me 1 for the path, so, or I mean theoretically it's only going to give me 1, 0, and the file's 0 dot URL, and then this is what I need for there is no audio URL, so let's say const audio URL equals this. Alright, now refresh. Let's do this one more time. Open, and Lincoln Park, and upload, and there it is. And then we want to select that song, and failed to load because no supported source was found. Okay, player context. Is this the player context? Let's do that again. There we go. Yay! I think this song is worth listening to as celebration for getting it to work. Let's go ahead and boot. Now let's see if I navigate, did it already handle this? So, alright, stayed there. My profile, cool. This is fine. This is fine if it stays up. Sidebars fine. Okay. Cool. Okay, cool. So that's going to be part one. Again, this is all just using AI. I'm not writing much code, as you can tell. I'm trying to go in and fix and research what it gets wrong. And then in part two, we will work on the syncing of things. Oh my goodness.